Welcome to Beyond the Sidelines. I'm Kate Shadoga, your host.
I'm George.
I'm Jalen.
And today we're going to talk about multiple things, including NFL and Timber Creek sports. We're going to actually start off with Timber Creek sports. I wasn't at the game, but George, I know you were. What's your intake and what happened? I know they lost bad.
I mean, we got crushed. We got crushed really, really bad. Just seeing us, get demolished 49-7. It was tough. It was
embarrassing. And a $48 million stadium.
Yeah, it was not good. We gave up 237 yards rushing, about 147 yards passing, and scored only one touchdown.
Jay, I don't know if you were there or not, but
No, I was at work. Had better things to do than watch us get demolished. So
that's agreed.
I mean, it was a nice stadium. It was a $40-something million stadium. It was crazy. It was a great stadium, but that was like the best part of the game was like being able to play the stadium, which is really sad. But I think the main problem was the offense. Like the defense the offense almost had all 3 and outs. They only had like 3 or 4 first downs, and the one touchdown was on like us putting our tight end back at quarterback and him QB powering it into the end zone because Akers was not doing well. So the fact that and that was after I think a turnover, like one turnover of the game. It was after an amazing return by Kyle Zalek. He had a great punt return, like one of the few good points. But the fact that the defense had to keep going out there, and they were so tired from going 3 and out every single thing. It's the offense that has been systematically the problem. As we've been outscored now by other teams have scored 12 combined touchdowns and a field goal on us, and we've combined 2 touchdowns and a field goal. So it's a 10 touchdown rate to our 0, basically 0 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just
TCOD.
But
TCOD.
It's really I think the offense is the problem because of the fact that they're putting the defense on there while they're so tired and they're so going to be demolished. And obviously, it's easier to replace offensive components than it is to replace defensive components, especially with our team, which does not have very many capable backups.
So would you say we did better this week or better than week 1? Or just actually not good at all between both weeks?
It's really tough. I think defensively, even though we let up more points, I think we did better last week, and I think we did better this week. But offensively, we did better last week.
Yes. So next week we versus West Mesquite. How can we?
They're also 0-2.
Also, okay.
So we have a slightly better chance. The first game at home, we're all hyped up.
Yep.
They have one playmaker that has accounted for 200 something of their 400 something yards in both games.
It's crazy.
And so, and it's the that is who we've been keying in on all every single day. And so, if we can stop him, I think that we could have a good chance of winning the game if the offense is able to produce. If Jason Akers and Bess and our offensive line, which has been our systematically worst problem with, obviously we talked about Dylan Ward getting hurt. It was just really bad, and that's the reason why. I think if our offensive line can show up and our offense, that'll help our offense kick into a system, which will help our defense control that kick into a system and be able to go on and win the game.
Well, like you said, you're keying on this one player, which is kind of what the Dolphins did to Lamar Jackson just for his running game.
They didn't key in on anything. They didn't key in on anything. Letting up 59 points, that's worse than we did. Okay? That is worse than we did. And the funny thing is, a report out of Miami after the game was a majority of the players asked for either a cut or to be traded from the Miami Dolphins. That's how bad their team is. That they want to be cut. They're acting to be cut from an NFL roster.
Yeah, that's what I was getting into, because over the course of the few days, they've been they told within the game they didn't really adjust to Lamar Jackson's throwing, but they were ready for his running, and he didn't do much of that on Sunday. He did more of passing, 5 touchdowns, I think 400 and something yards, which is kind of crazy.
Crazy. I mean, but don't get too overhyped with Lamar Jackson's performance. And he's going to have a good week next week because he's playing Arizona, right? So he's going to have What do you mean no?
Yeah.
No.
No. Okay.
I don't know.
What?
I don't think you can say that yet.
So
I
we
think
should pump the brakes, or
I
we shouldn't pump the brakes?
He should.
We should pump the brakes?
Yeah, that's
So
what I'm
he
saying.
doesn't- he
We
doesn't-
should
Oh,
pump
okay.
the brakes
Oh,
on
yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know, and I think he's going to have another really good week because he's facing the Cardinals defense, which is like the second worst in the league.
And he plays Kansas City week 3,
Yeah.
so.
So, yeah,
Well,
he's
they'll
going to
lose
face
that time.
he's going to face some defenses that are not going to be, where up to his level. So he's
Like the
going to have
Cowboys?
a good couple first weeks. But when he gets into those defenses that are going to be rough, he's not going to have a good game, and he's not going to be able to throw all over the field like he did against the Dolphins,
I agree, yeah.
especially against Pat Pete next week.
Okay, is he unsuspended next week? Because he is suspended.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He was suspended. I forgot about that. No, I don't think he's unsuspended.
I think
So he's fine.
Okay. Jay, is Lamar Jackson worth the hype, or should we
I mean,
calm
Lamar
down a little
Jackson was really good in college. You know, he had a good time there, and then when he came to the NFL, you know, I feel like before he was drafted, a lot of people were kind of like talking bad about him, about how he should be a wide receiver and all that. I feel like he hasn't really just stepped into his role on the Ravens yet, so I think time will tell, but I don't think that we should be, you know, all rooting up for Jackson when he's only played one game against the Dolphins.
Yeah, the Dolphins aren't anywhere near as good as any of the teams going to verse this season. Next, we're going to talk about, are the Cowboys legit, and do the Eagles pose a...
Yes.
No.
Answer it. It's answered, yes.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No.
Dude,
No.
did you watch the game, dude?
Yeah, I watched the game against the second worst defense in the NFL.
Dude, God.
It was against.
It's literally...
It's against the Giants. Name a good player on the Giants.
Literally?
Defense. Name a good player on the Giants defense.
Eli Manning.
Name a...
Eli Manning.
Yeah,
Manning's
he's
the
amazing
best.
for the Giants. No. Name a good player on the Giants defense.
I can't.
That proves my point.
Doesn't
That
matter.
proves my point. Yes,
And
it
they
does.
still won,
They're-
so.
The Giants' defense is absolute garbage. Literally, guys were open every single time all over the field. Jason Witten scored a touchdown, and Jason Witten needs to be in a walker, okay? Literally was broadcasting games last year. Man is 38 playing on an NFL roster, and they let him score a touchdown. The Giants' defense is almost
Jason
as bad
Witten's
as
a
the
legend,
Dolphins'
though,
defense.
dude.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't. This dude can still only run like a 6-second 40. Man is
He's old. Can your dad do that? No.
never said my dad could.
That is
But
an NFL player.
compared to other NFL players, how do you let him score a touchdown? Like literally, it was terrible. The Giants' defense may be literally the second worst defense of the league, and I'm only saying that because the Miami Dolphins let up 59 points.
And if it wasn't for...
And if it wasn't for Miami, they would be the worst defense. And it's because of, you know, you let so many receivers catch the ball, and you know, Dak Prescott was 8 of 9 passing 20-plus yards down the field. That never should ever happen, especially with an average quarterback like Dak Prescott.
He's
who's
not an average
Yes, he
quarterback.
absolutely
We've already
is an
talked
average
about
quarterback.
this. He's not an average quarterback.
Easily an average
He's at
quarterback.
least top 15 in the league right now.
That's average. If he's 15,
It's not average. I mean, okay, what do you think is best
Well,
then?
because
Best would be
with
like
32
top
teams,
3?
half is
There's
16,
32
so
teams,
15
half
is
is
on
16.
average.
If he's in the top 15 at 15, that's average.
Well, I didn't tell you where I placed him.
Where did you place him?
8?
You're wrong.
8.
You're
It's
wrong.
8.
You're
It's 8.
absolutely
7 better.
wrong.
8. 7
Wrong.
better? Okay.
No,
Or 7 worse.
You're
Oh,
wrong.
7 worse than him? Let's think.
Well, yes.
Okay, so can we still use Andrew Luck because I feel like Dak Prescott's better than him?
No.
We can't use him? Okay.
You think Dak Prescott's better than Andrew Luck? Hold up. You think Dak Prescott's better than Andrew Luck?
For sure.
What?
For sure.
You're crazy.
Yeah.
You're crazy.
Yeah.
You're
All right,
crazy.
it just rendered. What?
Just tell me why Dak Prescott's not better than Andrew Luck.
Did you see Andrew Luck? Yes, retired Andrew Luck. He might be better than him because he's not playing on the field. Andrew Luck was a top 5 quarterback last year. Dak Prescott's never come near a top 5 quarterback.
But think about Andrew Luck during his
his first
whole
year, he was pretty
career.
good.
His first year was good.
Think about
for a
Andrew Luck,
rookie.
though.
But he hasn't done much since then.
What?
Andrew Luck in his whole career. I mean, I know we talked about last year. Yeah, they had a good run, but Andrew Luck is not
Andrew
a top
Luck was
5
great
quarterback.
before that. Yes, he was. He was amazing since he came into the league.
No
It's
way.
not-
No
yes,
way.
He was.
No
He was amazing. He would have been a Hall of Fame quarterback if he would have kept playing. Dak will not be a Hall of Fame quarterback.
You
unless
think
he's a
Andrew Luck would
turnaround.
go to the Hall
Yes.
of Fame?
Yes, he would.
Playing with the Colts.
Yes. Peyton Manning went there and he played with the Colts. He's going to the Hall of
You
Fame.
can't even put Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck on the same
Peyton Manning
scale.
was traded for Andrew Luck, basically. They traded away Peyton Manning to grab Andrew Luck, and Andrew Luck ended up being the better of the two in their last years, except for, after 2 years, those 2 years Manning was really good.
So name your top five. Name your top five quarterbacks right now.
Of right now?
Yes.
Tom Brady is in there. This is not in order. Tom Brady, after his performance last week against the awful Pittsburgh Steelers defense, Aaron Rodgers, Pat Mahomes, okay, Dak Prescott sure ain't in there, and
Yeah, are you expecting him to say Dak Prescott? Because it's not going to happen.
Yeah. No, I'm not asking if he's Dak.
Did you see Carson Wentz play? Carson Wentz is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott.
Carson Wentz is not a top 5 quarterback. That's a lie. That's a lie.
The way he played, okay.
That is
a
arguable.
lie.
That is arguable, but he definitely is better than Dak.
Yeah.
Okay, I can say that. Yeah.
Here, I'm just going to start naming quarterbacks that are better than Dak.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
okay,
They can
that's
crap
what
on
we
the the Dallas Cowboys. That's fine.
Baker Mayfield is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I don't.
No,
agree
he's
with that.
not.
Yeah.
I
No,
think
he's
they're
not.
both the same.
No.
They're
Baker
around this
Mayfield-
heat.
Baker
Either
Mayfield-
one is like either like
Baker
an
Mayfield
inch
is
better.
is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott.
Don't want to pick somebody though.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Oh, you also think the Browns are going to the Super Bowl, huh?
No, I definitely don't
Yeah,
think the Browns are
that's
gonna lose.
something that a Browns
I
fan would
definitely no, I'm a Steelers fan. I want the Browns to lose. I was happy when they lost to the Titans defense. But the Titans defense is arguably one of the top 10, top 15 defense in the league. Do you know how good the Giants defense is?
They suck, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah,
I've
they
already
suck.
been over this.
It's still a
They're
dub, though.
terrible.
It's still a dub. Doesn't matter. It's still a dub. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? It's still going to be there for years to come. We'll know
Baker
that
Mayfield.
Cowboys won the
Ben
first game in
Roethlisberger is
2019,
easily a better
2020.
quarterback than Dak Prescott.
Who is?
Ben Roethlisberger is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott.
Dude, Big Ben needs to die already.
Dang.
Because
That was dark.
I feel like, honestly, Big Ben, he's one of those just bugs, you know? Like, it's one of those bugs that just
Those
sticks
bugs?
around and never goes away. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, remember that bug, that big bug we saw that one time? That's Big Ben. That's him, a big bug.
A big bug that's better than the little bug that's Dak Prescott.
Okay, he's not a little bug, all right? But you can keep going.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Let's keep going. Gardner Minshew should be better than.
Who the heck is Gardner Minshew? Who is that?
The backup quarterback for the Jaguars, who stepped in and threw 17 of 18 completed passes in their loss.
It actually was the first quarterback to throw. I think it was 11 for 11.
Yeah.
I think it's the best quarterback to come out for his first game.
Yeah.
It's really.
Okay,
That's
but
pretty
as of
good.
right now,
That's
yes, I
pretty-
agree.
that's good, yeah.
I think Jacoby Brissett is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott.
Tell me why.
He has better throwing. He has better accuracy than Dak Prescott, which is the most important aspect to a
You
quarterback.
sound
is
like you just
accuracy.
made.
And Jacoby
You
Brissett
sound like you just
has
made
better
a
accuracy.
created player on NFL on the game, and you're like, oh yeah, he has better throwing. I'm gonna put him at 99. Jacoby Brissett is not better than Dak
Yes, he
Prescott,
is.
and I'll tell you why. Dak Prescott is a top quarterback in this league.
No,
There's
he
nothing
isn't.
you can tell
No,
me
he
to
isn't.
tell me that he's
He
not.
definitely isn't. Oh, what about last year? How well did he do last year?
He did,
How well
he
did he do?
He did okay.
No, he did.
He did okay. He didn't
No,
do
he
great,
did.
but he did okay.
No, he didn't. He was not good whatsoever. There was a
To be
reason
fair,
that the
he
offensive
did lead to the
coordinator was
division game.
fired. Because Dak Prescott was not producing. And that's on Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott produces.
Look at the game.
No matter what game he's playing, Dak Prescott always produces something.
Look at the games that Dak has not had Zeke. Look at the games that Dak hasn't had Zeke. He has been
Okay,
awful.
to be a good NFL team, you need a running back. Everyone knows that.
You don't need a good running back to be a good NFL quarterback. When was the last time Green Bay had a good running back?
Okay, so it's like this. So it's like our team right now. Okay, so if Jason Akers did not have Caden Best, do you still think that they would have a good team even if he didn't
We
have
don't
them?
have a good team in the first place.
Exactly.
No, but there's a difference. Aaron Rodgers is a good quarterback, and he has never had a running game worth a damn. Dak Prescott,
when he had Lacey back in the day.
Lacey, where's Lacey right now?
On the couch
Where's
eating some
on the
burgers.
couch?
Eating
Probably getting suited up to play for the XFL.
Okay.
Shut your mouth.
Dude, listen. All I'm saying is that I don't feel like people should crap on the Cowboys as much as they do because the Cowboys, they're just America's team.
That's not even an argument.
That's just it. That's just
They
it.
don't even deserve that title.
That's not an argument.
Okay. Let me ask you this then: who deserves the title of America's team?
Patriots.
Patriots, yeah. They don't. When was the last time the Cowboys made a Super Bowl? What, 1993?
That's when Joe Boo Boo was around.
Joe Boo Boo.
Who's Joe Boo Boo?
That's the point.
We'll move on. All right. KC, have they lost a step? And does Tyreek Hill being out affect them a lot?
Not that much.
Not that much?
Not that much. And it's because they have a great system. Andy Reid is one of the best offensive head coaches in the league. Now, he chokes in the playoffs, and we know that. He chokes in the playoffs. But
Choke. Sorry.
yeah, that's what Andy Reid does in the playoffs. So doesn't the Cowboys.
Okay. All right. Come on, dude.
But Andy Reid, and you saw that when Tyreek Hill went out.
Yes.
It's next man up mentality. Sammy Watkins went off 9 receptions, 198 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Three.
Okay, I wouldn't say that Sammy Watkins just like came into this top league player. I mean, he's been good since he's been in Clemson.
That's true, but
he was good with the Bills.
He has not been good. He has not shown like he was a top 10 overall pick.
But on Sunday he did.
On Sunday he did, but before that, how many teams has he been traded to?
I think 3.
3 or 4. It's been terrible.
It was 2
He was traded to 2 and he's been cut. Like this, he is not shown to be a top receiver in the league, and he finally was able to show out because A, because Patrick Mahomes is a god, and B, because Andy Reid is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, best coaches in the NFL. And I think that it's just you also have Kelsey, who's still he didn't do great, but he still was a reliable target.
That's because the Jaguars took him out of the game.
They tried to take him out of the game, and you saw that they had a good running game, and coming out of the backfield, you had 3 running backs that could, LaShawn McCoy showed out. Darwin Thompson had a couple of games, and then Damian Williams had a monster game for not being, not supposed to being a top 10 running back. He had a monster game.
I think he's super underrated.
Yeah. I absolutely agree. And that Chiefs running back room is super, super underrated.
Oh, yeah. Jalen, what's your thoughts? It's Kansas City.
I'll have to agree. I mean, I think when you talk about the Chiefs and how they've evolved over the years from being like, I wouldn't say the worst team, but one of the worst teams in the NFL.
Right. So before Henry came in, they were 2-14.
Yeah, and then coming back and doing what they're doing now. I mean, the Chiefs, they look pretty unstoppable, but there are key components with the Chiefs that I think that, if they did not have, or they're not gonna, that's lackluster this year. I don't see them going back to the Super Bowl. Do I think that the Chiefs are a Super Bowl contender right now? I'd say maybe. It wouldn't be like a clear cut.
Are they a Super Bowl contender? Yes. Does that mean they're going to go to the Super Bowl? No. Are they a contender? Absolutely. Absolutely. They're absolutely a contender for the Super Bowl.
I'm just kidding.
The Cowboys are a contender for the Super Bowl. I don't think they're going to come anywhere close. I think they choke in the divisional round like normal. But they are a contender. The Bears are a contender, no matter how bad they lost. Literally their offense got slaughtered by the Packers' defense.
All right, answer me this, though. Are the Steelers going to the Super Bowl?
No.
Okay.
So with Tyreek Hill being out, who steps up? Because we know Watkins is going to be the number 1. We know Kelsey's going to be there. We know McCoy and Williams are there. Who's the number 2 receiver for the Chiefs? I know there's McCole Hardman and there's many more.
I think it's just they're going after obviously if you have two receivers and a guy out of the backfield, those are going to be your 3 main guys. It's going to be Watkins, who I think is going to start getting shut down, and Kelsey's going to have a monster game week 2. And then you're also going to have Damian Williams. And I think that also Darwin Thompson, a speed scat back, he's going to get out there and go. And I also think that, you could have LaShawn McCoy get some good runs. He is a great, I can't think of the word. He has a great connection with Andy Reid.
Yeah.
And from being in Philadelphia. And I think that after those 3 main guys, I think it's just going to be wide receiver by committee. Whoever's open, Pat Mahomes is going to get it to. If he doesn't get injured, like his offensive line let him down last week.
Yeah. So Kansas City actually plans on putting the injured reserve on Tyreek Hill, which means he would come back after week 8.
Right.
But they said that injury should only last maybe 2 to 3 weeks. So should they wait and just the whole 8 weeks, or should they come, or they should hold off and wait till? 3 weeks?
Oh yeah, especially if they plan on going back to the Super Bowl. Yeah, I wouldn't risk it.
Yeah, I wouldn't risk it either. I agree with that call. I think that especially because Tyreek Hill is so, the Chiefs have an easy schedule for the first couple weeks.
Yeah, I agree.
And having that easy schedule, and you want Tyreek Hill to be able to rehabilitate all the way till he's a full go in week 9.
That's gonna be scary when he comes back.
Yeah.
I remember next one, Antonio Brown. He's went to what I call the Thanos. Tom Brady. He's over there, and man, they have built a super team. What's your actually, Jay? I want to ask Jay first. Should the Patriots hand the trophy, or should they? Or you think someone can contend with them?
Well, I hate the Patriots, so anything they do disgusts me. When I hear the word Patriot, I almost throw up. When I see red, white, and blue, except for July 4th, I puke. The Patriots are just. George is gonna have to talk about that one because I can't even. They'd cut me from the show if I said something about the Patriots. So.
Do you think you don't like the Patriots? Okay.
Let's just skip the segment. Skip the segment. I don't even want to talk about it.
Hand the trophy.
No. Antonio Brown. First of all, Antonio Brown is already. He made the Raiders so mad they could cut him so he could go to the team he wanted to be in the first place. Because the reports came out that the Patriots wanted to trade for Antonio Brown, but the Steelers would not trade Antonio Brown to the Patriots. So he screws with the Browns, or the Raiders, just so and called their GM Mayonnaise Boy so he can get out of a contract with the Raiders, and now is going to the Patriots, where he's still going to be getting $15 million if he plays this season, and he's going to be a I think they win the Super Bowl. I think with Antonio Brown's, how do you not win the Super Bowl? You got Stoney Michel, who's going to run the crap out of the ball. You have 3 amazing receivers. Even without Gronk, you have 3 amazing receivers. You have Edelman coming back. You have Josh Gordon, who looked really good in the game. And then you have Antonio Brown, who was arguably a top 5 quarterback, or top 5 receiver over the last 5 seasons.
I think he's number 1 still.
I don't think he's the number 1 receiver.
No.
I think him and Julio can fight for one.
No,
No,
it's not even Julio.
Who?
No, the best wide receiver in the NFL right now is DeAndre Hopkins.
I'm just kidding. I forgot about him.
It's DeAndre Hopkins. It's not. Did you watch the game last night?
Oh, yeah.
It was
I've heard about that.
amazing.
Was
Man was amazing. Has
Yeehaw.
maybe the biggest hands in the NFL. And
Yeah, his hands are big. You like his hands?
Yeah. That was a weird way of you putting it.
No, yeah, that's just the way I got it from you. It sounded like you said you like his hands.
No, but I mean, he literally will jump over, and then, he jumps over people. He's going to get yards after the catch because he's so fast, and he's just able to catch any ball that comes towards him. He had no drops last season.
Yeah.
He had no drops last season.
How many last night, though?
None.
He had 2.
He had 2 drops last night?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, then again, he also suplexed Marcus Williams.
That's true.
So
That was funny.
may have been the greatest tackle in NFL history. Man picked him up and suplexed him. Wasn't like he was in the WWE. Like, it was crazy.
He was probably mad at the moment.
All right, we're going to move on to the overhyped train of the Browns. They got blown out, I think, 41-13.
30 points. They got beaten by 30 points.
It's crazy. By the Titans on Sunday. Are the Browns worth the hype anymore, or can we just maybe also pump the brakes, and will they come? Look,
I still like Baker Mayfield. I still think Baker Mayfield is one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. I think he has to develop some type of connection with his receivers, which I don't think he had done yet. I think even Jarvis Landry really underperformed last year. The only receiver he's really grown a good connection with is David Njoku, and he still has to form that connection with OBJ. No matter how good a receiver is, if your quarterback doesn't like throwing to him, then it's going to be a problem. We saw that in Dallas a couple years ago, where Dak had Dez Bryant, and Dez Bryant didn't end up doing anything because Dak did not have a good connection with him. So I think it's really that quarterback connection. But as I said at the beginning of the season, I don't like the Browns' defense. No matter how good their defensive line is, especially with the pass rusher Myles Garrett and a decent corner in Denzel Ward, they don't have the talent they don't have the defensive talent to stop the good offenses or stop the bad offenses. In the case of the Titans and Marcus Mariota, who really showed why he should have been picked number 1 last week over Jameis Winston, throwing 4 picks, including a pick 6 against the 49ers.
He threw 4 picks on Sunday?
Something like that. He was turnover machine. He threw a pick 6, which allowed the 49ers to go win the game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. I don't think they're going to be as good as people think. I think maybe 9-7 is what they're really hoping for.
That was my prediction, somewhere around there.
Oh yeah, even a 10-win season would be sufficient. If I was like the Browns, even if I won 1 game, I'd be happy. So I mean, if they get all the way up to 10,
with the talent they have,
if they could go
now,
10-6, if they could at least go 10-6, so I'm not saying they could. If they went 10-6, it'd be like they were winning the Super Bowl. So I mean. I'm saying, basically, I'm agreeing with you. Anything will, satisfy the Browns.
I mean, they could end up going 7-9 this season. Having a worse record than last year if Baker Mayfield cannot figure out how to get a connection with his receivers and the defense just underperforms again.
So the Browns know that they have hype around them.
Yes.
Do you think they're letting it get to them?
But I think that because they had such a soul-crushing week 1, that the hype around that has just hit a stop. Has completely just stopped, and I think that stop is like that'll allow the Browns, Baker Mayfield, to be like, hey, wait a second, let's take a step back, let's see what we're doing wrong. You know what? Now that we don't have all these expectations, let's go out and show somebody why we are one of the best teams in the league.
I think they have one of the first, or one of the least, one of the first primetime games out of. No, they didn't have a lot recently because they're not that good against the Jets. So maybe they can.
The Jets Monday night game.
Maybe they can
this week. That's actually going to be a really interesting matchup.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Next, we'll move on to Kyler Murray and his comeback tie against the Lions. I still don't agree with that overtime rules. But Jalen, Kyler Murray, what do you think about him? Is he number 1 overall pick worthy?
I mean, Kyler Murray's good, but I mean,
he was shaky for the first part of the game, but he came back in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, like I said, Kyler Murray's good, but he's just too short, man. I mean, I feel like I don't see him having a long shelf life in the league.
Drew Brees is short.
I know, but I don't feel.
But what has he done?
But the thing is that I just feel like
I
feel like Drew Brees and Kyler Murray, when you come to conclusions about height or weight or anything, you can't really make big conclusions like I said. So for Kyler Murray,
big conclusion.
Well, I mean, it's a big conclusion, but at the same time, it's not, because it's Kyler Murray, I mean, he's short. He's not going to grow. He's short, okay? And he's going to stay short for the rest of his life.
Are you saying
so? For him to be able to go,
cannot throw a football? Are you saying people who are short cannot throw a football?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that.
The ball better than Dak Prescott can.
If you just go back to Dak Prescott every time, I swear, dude. But it's what I'm saying is that Kyler Murray, I mean, he's a good player, and he played good on week 1. But I just feel like, what God did to him. He's just too short. It's just me. I don't know. He's just too short.
I don't know. I don't think he should have been the first overall pick, and I didn't think he should have been the first overall pick when he was made the first overall pick. So I still don't think that. I still think there were better players on the board, but they ended up drafting him. It just shows how bad the Lions are. That's my conclusion from the game. It's not how good Kyler Murray is. It's Jesus Christ, Larry Fitzgerald, what are you eating, drinking, and what are you taking to make sure that you're still an amazing receiver, friggin' drafted in 2003? And, why are the Lions terrible? Why are the Lions the worst? Matthew Stafford choked in the second half. You had, just terrible play by the Lions defense in the second half. I mean, in the first half, they killed him so much that Kyler Murray was thinking about calling up the A's and saying, asking if he could return to baseball. Great adjustments made by the Cardinals coaching staff, but how do you lose that so badly? How do you lose a grit that was held so tightly that you end up at a tie with arguably the second worst team in the NFC?
It's sad. Yeah. We're gonna move on to our X Factor segment. We're gonna start off with Thursday night's game, which is the Bucks and the Panthers. Who are your X Factor for that game?
For the Okay, do I say who I want to win? Am I
You
saying who I
can
want
say
to
that, you can say that after.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I want the Panthers to win, obviously, and I think the X factor would be Christian McCaffrey.
Who's your captain? Jalen or George?
I think the X factor of the game has to be DJ Moore, who is a receiver for the Panthers. And if DJ Moore is able to show why he should be a number one wide receiver with not a good receiving core with the Panthers, obviously Cam Newton did not do well at all last week. He's got to be able to show, why he was chosen in the first round last year and why, they got rid of Devin Funchess so he could be the number one. And if he can't show that out, obviously Christian McCaffrey's going to go off. We know Christian McCaffrey's going to go off. Even last week when they got killed, Christian McCaffrey popped off. So
yeah, I'm saying Christian McCaffrey basically kind of like crapping on Cam Newton, saying that your running back, you're basically going to have to depend on the running game if y'all guys want to win games this year, unless something in the something like trading or people getting cut at it on or whatever like that. I think that Christian McCaffrey on the offense at least, DJ Moore and Christian McCaffrey are going to be key components if they want to do something this year.
Absolutely, but I really think you have to show out why you were chosen. So, and I think the Panthers beat the Bucs because Jameis Winston sucks.
Yeah,
Jameis Winston is. Yeah. Next, we're on to Philly and Atlanta. Jalen, who's your X factor?
Philly and Atlanta. Okay, I did not watch any of the games last week, so
Philly left the Skies. They were down by.
Philly was down by 17-0 and came back and won 32-20.
27, I think.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, just know off of past
and
knowledge.
And then the Vikings choked out the Falcons.
Out of past knowledge, I would say Philly winning, obviously. And for my X factor, that's kind of tough, actually. I'd say my X factor would be. I don't know.
We'll come back.
That's actually pretty. That's a pretty because from what I know, since I didn't watch the game, from what I know, I'm pretty sure they still have a good offense going with them. The defense can get worked on. They're not like a Super Bowl defense like they were, but the offense is a pretty good offense. So there's a lot of components. I don't think there's one person that is going to win the game for them. So I guess I don't have an X factor.
I think that X factor for the game has to be Deion Jones, linebacker of the Falcons. I just think that he has to be the guy that is able to run sideline to sideline and control, that Falcons defense and to be able to beat Carson Wentz. Now, if the Falcons take what the Redskins taught them, in the first half, and are able to still shut down the game, shut down Carson Wentz in the second half, we'll see, how that works out. I think that it has to be it absolutely has to. Their defense, the Falcons' defense, has to show up. And the offense, did not do well. Devonta Freeman played like garbage. But I think it's the defense that has to be able to shut down the Eagles for them to go on and win the game.
So you think the Falcons win?
No, but I think the Eagles win the game because I don't think the Falcons can do that. And I think Devonta gets shut out again.
And that was a Sunday night game. Now moving on to the Monday night game, which is the Jets and Browns. What's your prediction, George?
My prediction, my X factor has got to be Denzel Ward, corner for the Browns. If he's able to shut down Sam Darnold, like the Bills did in the second half, which I don't know how the Bills do that. I know they have Tre'Davious White, but if he is able to come out and shut down whatever Sam Darnold is doing, and the rest of the defense can go ahead and shut down Le'Veon Bell, the Browns have a good shot at winning this game.
Yeah, I say Browns. But I say Baker. I think after this week, they really need to start trying to figure out how they're gonna play this year on offense. Who they want to connect with, who they want to be key players for the offense. So I think that Baker kind of has to come up and be that man to bring them all together.
All right. Next, we're gonna move on to our final, and it's to be the picks for next week. We're starting off with the 49ers and Bengals, and if you want, you can give a description of what like who's going to do what. And
don't do that because I'm hungry.
Okay, 49ers and Bengals. Who wins?
It's a tough one. It's a really tough one.
I'm kidding.
I think the 49ers take it. I think that
2-0?
Their defense shuts down what the Bengals can do. I know John Ross and Tyler Boyd showed out for the Bengals. Joe Mixon got shut down. But John Ross
Joe Mixon isn't good. Like, can we just say that Joe Mixon isn't good?
You don't think Joe Mixon's good?
No.
Well, I think he's average.
I agree. I think he's definitely average, but I think out of the backfield, if they're able to utilize him out of the backfield,
I can say Zeke is better than Joe Mixon, though.
Yes, you can.
Was that an argument?
Yay! I finally win one.
You can say Zeke is a better running back than most running backs in the league.
I think Zeke is one of the top 2 running backs in the NFL.
I'll say Bengals, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I just don't like you.
Vote against
All
him.
right, that's fair.
And I have the 49ers winning in that one. Chargers and Lions. Jay? You go first?
Oh,
Chargers and Lions.
that did not sound right. Chargers.
Yeah, it definitely has to be the Chargers. Austin Eckler, even with Melvin Gordon out, Austin Eckler was show that he can be a number 1 running back. I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah.
He had 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I definitely underrated him.
And I think that if the Chargers can limit Kerryon Johnson like the Cardinals did, then they're going to be fine.
Yeah. As much as I want the Chargers to lose, Chargers are going to win. Okay.
Yeah, Chargers are going to win.
Moving on.
The Lions almost lost to the Cardinals.
They kind of lost. I don't know. Vikings and Packers. George?
Pack.
Vikings.
Pack.
Vikings.
Packers.
It's in Lambeau.
It's Vikings.
It's in Lambeau.
I know it's in Lambeau.
The Packers, dude.
It's not. It's
the
the
Packers.
Vikings. It's the Vikings.
The Vikings are not going to win. Tell me how.
The Vikings literally just shut down the entire Falcons offense.
All right, give me one player. Give me one player that is going to at least help them win.
Adam Thielen.
Okay, you can go. You can
Stephon
already.
Diggs?
You can keep going because
Dalvin Cook.
Absolutely. He's coming off of an ACL injury. Dalvin Cook is not
last
going.
week? No, you didn't because you didn't watch any of the games.
I was at work. I had to work that day. I'm sorry. Okay, Kroger called.
Dalvin Cook went off. Even after his ACL tear, Dalvin Cook went off. And I think that the Vikings defense were able to just choke the Atlanta Falcons to death.
Choke them.
Choke them. They were able to absolutely kill anything the Falcons were trying to do on offense, and when they're gonna grab the dub because of their defense. And Dalvin Cook is gonna go off for another 100-yard plus game.
Bold prediction right there. No, not that bold.
No.
Moving on, Colts and Titans. Jay.
Titans, I don't like the Colts.
Just because you don't like a team. I don't like the Patriots. I'm probably gonna pick them to beat the Dolphins.
Oh yeah. Yeah, obviously.
Actually, I have. Okay, just go. No,
Go ahead.
No. That's for the Patriots. We'll talk about it later when it comes up.
Don't like the Dolphins.
Okay, just say one word answer so we can get there.
I think it's going to be the Colts. I think Jacoby Brissett goes out and shows out against a better defense. Now I know the Titans played great against a Browns team who just crapped the bed. But I think that I like the Colts, even though they went into overtime against the Chargers, who was one of the better teams in the NFL. And I think that the Colts can go ahead. And Marlon Mack had a monster game,
I
think he can do that again.
Okay. For the Vikings-Packers game, I picked the Packers, and for this Colts Titans game, I picked the Titans. Moving on, we're going to go Pats and Dolphins. I don't have the Dolphins winning, but they always lose in Miami, the Patriots, so...
Yeah, that was losing Miami.
If they were to lose in Miami
again, for the second year in a row,
then I think we're gonna have to shave some heads around here or something because that's just ridiculous.
No.
If the Dolphins win, I'll pick the Dolphins. Okay. If the Dolphins win, George.
Okay.
Okay. I'll think about it. We'll come back to it.
Okay.
Now, the Dolphins have had mediocre teams, and we saw even week 2 last year, the Jaguars, who was terrible last season, were able to beat Tom Brady because Tom Brady does not like playing in the warm. He doesn't. He's not good at playing in.
What is he, a reptile? Why are we like?
He's never.
Tom Brady.
Never played well
Tom Brady doesn't
weather.
like playing in the cold, so they're just gonna lose because he didn't like playing in the cold. That's
he loves playing in the cold.
That's so stupid.
He doesn't.
Or the warm,
he
the hot, the heat.
Well, if it's 100 degrees, it's gonna affect you. I know you haven't been on the football field in a while after you quit. Being warm affects you on the football field, and I think it affects Tom Brady more than it affects most people. And obviously last year was the freaking Miami Miracle, so I don't think that's going to happen again. They don't have Gronk on the team anymore, so he can't not tackle somebody. Okay,
Yep.
So yeah, I have the Patriots destroying them, and Tom Brady's so mad that he's lost them 2 years in a row. He's just going to kill them.
Does he destroy them as much as Lamar Jackson did?
No.
No. Okay.
It's not going to be 59-10.
Maybe 60-10. Next, we're going to a really, really terrible and probably slow game. The Bills and Giants. That's kind of the laughing stock game right there.
It's got to be I'm picking the Bills.
Bills?
Yeah. It's not because of Josh Allen either.
Okay.
Why do you just hate Josh Allen?
Josh Allen.
Like, you just hate him.
Because he doesn't have accuracy, which I said before is the number one thing you have to have as a quarterback. He has great legs, and he's able to run all over the field. But 2, 3, 4 years down the line, when he keeps getting hit and hit and hit, he's not going to be able to run like he does anymore, and he's not going to be able to throw the ball down the field. We saw that in the Jets-Bills game. Sam Darnold did not have his accuracy on point and ended up costing them the game. He had Robbie Anderson open 2 times down the field in the last 2 minutes, and he missed him twice because his accuracy is more important than arm strength.
Bills, Giants. Who wins?
Oh, and the Giants suck.
Bills because of Josh Allen.
Bills, because of Josh Allen. Seahawks at the Steelers. Who wins that one?
Seahawks.
Steelers.
Steelers.
No, it's the Seahawks win. Did you see how bad the Steelers crap the bed last week?
It's the
I
Steelers.
like the Steelers more.
It's the Steelers.
No, it's not. It's the Seahawks are going to win. Russell Wilson's going to be able to run
No,
all over
George,
their
no,
defense.
no.
And
Listen,
Chris
George,
Carson
George,
is going to have
George.
a monster game.
George, listen. It's the Steelers. They're going to win.
But they're not.
Keep it going.
They're not going to win.
They're going to win. Steelers.
Cowboys at the Redskins. I'll let Jay do this one.
Go ahead.
Okay, George. Obviously.
The Cowboys are going to win.
The Cowboys
Sorry.
are going to win because
Sorry,
they're facing
they're
a
not-
bad team, but I
Let's
think it's going to
go,
be a
let's
lot
go,
closer than
let's
people
go.
think. The Cowboys defense did not do. The Giants only gained 20 less yards than the Cowboys did last week, and that's crazy about how they just
Wait,
couldn't
did you
score.
pick the Cowboys?
Yes, I did pick the Cowboys,
I was
but I
making
think
sure.
it's going to be a way closer game than people
Cowboys.
think, and I think Dak Prescott will not be the reason they win. It's going to be Zeke.
Next is Cardinals and Ravens. I got the Ravens. So I got that
Cardinals.
one.
What?
Cardinals.
Did
Cardinals.
you see how bad the Ravens killed a bad defense last week?
Yeah.
And they're going to do it again. They're not the Lions. They're not maybe the most chokingest team of all time. Okay,
No.
The Ravens are going to go out and they're going to win.
No.
And I think it's going to be on the back of Mark Ingram.
It's going to be on the back of Mr. Murray.
All
Kyler Murray is overrated.
Next, we got Jags and Texans. Who wins that one?
Texans.
Yeah.
Texans, yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Unless
I think
Gardner Minshew comes out and
I think
definitely-
Hopkins.
Unless DeAndre Hopkins gets assassinated for the game, then they're going to win.
But although the Texas defense has got to show up, man.
Yeah.
J.J. Watt did not show up in that game, and the loss of Jadeveon Clowney really ended up hurting them in the end because they didn't have a pass rush off the other side.
Yeah, that was
and they weren't
stupid.
able to get to the quarterback. So I don't think that third round was that valuable.
Yeah.
All right, Chiefs and Raiders. Kansas City's about to blow them out of the water. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, it's the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter how
No
well
questions
the Raiders
asked.
played okay last week, but that's because Joe Flacco is maybe is so overrated. Mr. Dumb Down Man, he only literally throws to the check down. So I think that I think that easily it's the Chiefs.
Bears and Broncos. How about that one, Jay?
Bears.
Bears.
And
Bears,
it's
Bears.
gonna be a low scoring affair. It's gonna be a low
Broncos.
scoring affair. But I don't think the Broncos.
Yeah, like
score.
one team will win by a field goal or something.
They couldn't score against the Raiders. They're definitely not going to score against the Bears.
Maybe it's all the weed. And maybe the weed.
I think David Montgomery, if they actually give him
Messing
some
up the
carries
ozone.
this week, no. If David Montgomery actually gets some carries this week, he's going to be good.
Yeah.
And the Bears are going to win.
Yeah.
But they have to be able to run the ball because Mitch Trubisky showed that he cannot lead a team last week.
All right. And the final game of the Sunday afternoons, Saints and Rams.
Saints.
This is a good one.
It's going to be a good game. I absolutely agree.
The Saints are
I
mad.
think
They
the
are
Saints,
mad.
The Saints are so
Oh,
mad.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Actually, now
The
that I think
Saints
about
are so
that,
mad.
like,
Breeze is just going to keep
just
throwing
in
on
my
and
mind,
throwing
I
and
just
throwing
saw
on.
him getting hit, and I was like, oh, yeah, Saints definitely go out there and
It's in Los Angeles.
go for some
so
heads.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. The Saints
It
are
doesn't matter.
about
The Saints
to.
are going to win.
Are they going to kill him?
They're going to kill him.
They're not going to kill him, but I think it'll be close. But I think
they're going to.
Two possessions,
It's
two possession
going
game.
to be a shootout, but I think the Saints are so mad that they're going to
throw a ball to the refs, yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
No, especially with the when if they're like up by 14 points in the fourth quarter, they're going to keep bombing it down the field.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to run. They're going to try and run up the score on the Rams, and I think they win.
So you have Rams or Saints? Saints.
I mean, It's close, but I think the Saints will eventually pull it out. I mean, the Rams are good, but I think the Rams kind of have like, I don't know, a little bit of a confidence booster going into the season. Not because of what they did last year, because I mean, if you really think about it, they did good things, but I mean, they didn't win. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, yeah, I think the Saints will go out there and hunt for some heads.
All right. Well, that's all the games, and that's all we got to talk about today. Thank you for joining us today on Beyond the Sidelines. Cares back next week. See you guys.